Yes, I can't explain why the vast majority of people who definitely know better have chosen to remain silent. I don't know. What I can tell you is anyone, me included, who said things like I'm saying, there were problems, for example, with the PCR test in the UK, and I would comment about it and write articles about it. What I did notice is that immediately you did that, and the more qualified you are, the worse it was, you would be attacked, for example, on Twitter, and eventually on main media. So, for example, last year, the main UK broadcaster, the British Broadcasting Corporation, actually used well-known journalists to slander me in public. A lady called Emma Barnett, who runs the Woman's Hour podcast. I'll name you Emma because you named me. And she made some statements about things I had not said that slandered me. And on that occasion, I told her she better take that lie back or I would sue. And they did indeed delete that portion. So basically they intimidate you, and they'll use either, I think, employed people on social media, who do exist, to attack you. And sometimes professional colleagues, one way or another, just taking a different view, and they will attack you. And no one gets on any of the main media that doesn't have a view that accords with what the government is saying. So I don't know whether they really believe it or not. I think some do, and they're a bit thoughtless. But I think, to answer your question, people were a bit uncertain whether they were going to say anything or not, noticed that anyone who said anything got attacked, slandered, called a conspiracy theorist or a fool or wrong or a COVIDiot, someone who put other people's lives at risk. The accusations were endless. Well, the thing is, I'm not doing this for money. I've suffered injuries, shall we say, to my reputation and my finances for speaking out. But I'm very confident in my position. And so, once you've arrived at that view, you know that attacks are manufactured. And so, it's like they used to say about warfare, when you're over the target, that's when the flak is heaviest. So I think a lot of people, I'm not in their head, so I don't know, but I think a lot of people chose to say nothing out of self-preservation, cowardice perhaps, or pragmatically. They realised they would just be destroyed. So, and that's that. I do think the origin in Britain was we have a regulator of broadcasting in this country called Ofcom. I can't remember what it stands for, Office of Communications, something like that. And on the day of the first lockdown, March 23rd last year, they issued a 4-page guidance that said more or less, we expect all broadcasters, and that includes radio, TV, newspapers, to not say things that contradict the position of the government or their authorised health advisors. Pretty much. Didn't quite say censorship, but it said, this is an emergency, and we it's not going to be appropriate for you to, give the option of publicity to viewpoints that challenge that. And that still continues now, and we're about, 56 weeks into this emergency. So they laid a marker down pretty quickly, and nobody on the main media pretty much said anything at all other than the government's official position. And I think people noticed within a few weeks that's not tolerated. So now we've had probably 11 and a half months of a single party line, and anyone who says anything knows they'll be attacked. So it's easy to understand why it's continued. I actually am not able to answer your first question. Why is it that people didn't say something before the example of attacks had started? And I don't know. But I do know that friends of mine, some former friends actually, who damn well knew that what was being said was a lie, and I asked for help, and they said, I'm not going to, because it will threaten my position with the university and I won't get grants from certain granting bodies. So yeah, plenty of people just self-preservation, cowardice, or as I say, maybe they were just pragmatists, because I haven't got very far. My reward for trying to speak out has just been, I'm pretty much extinguished as a professional scientist.
Well, I